up on that ass. Back to put rappers on one knee like they bout to run a 100-meter dash. Bow down to greatness before I get pissed and run up.
These are a lot of rappers, they only make it to people don't even get a chance to make it to their second album or third. So, you know, this is my 6th album. It always gives me a reason to stay hungry and just continue to grind. It's, you know what I'm saying, stay on that hungry level like you see on that video. Because that Undisputed video is really me just letting everybody know how hungry I am. No matter how many movies I've done or what television shows I've been on, I always used to look up to certain MCs and I see them start going and venturing over in movies and television. I'll be like, it don't seem like they're as passionate as they used to be about the music. Well, you know, that's one thing I've always kind of like been really, really passionate about myself is even though I'm doing these other things and I have the opportunity to get out there and do, like you say, triple or quadruple threat, that I continue to keep the music in my veins and know that it's #1 for me. So it's okay, you know what I mean? I just feel like I got something to prove. As long as I feel like I got something to prove, I'm gonna continue doing what I gotta do. And that's real talk.
Okay, so early on Def Jam, when you was out selling Jay-Z and album sales, but Jay was the marquee artist, and
right.
You didn't get maybe the budget push or the props that you deserved.
Oh, they thought I was gonna sell gold on Back for the first time when we came out and sold 3 million records, so that just goes to show.
That didn't bother you though?
You know what, it doesn't really, it bothered me, yeah, it does. Okay. But I mean, you know, just because, like you said earlier, just because certain artists get certain spins, it doesn't mean that they should get the kind of credit they deserve. So I don't attribute everything to selling a lot of records sometimes, you know what I mean? It's so many different levels of the game, whether it be lyricism or, you know, selling records or how many radio spins you get or how much respect you have. You know what I mean? Not everybody has everything. So sometimes you just gotta say what matters to you the most. And every album I do, I set out to achieve a certain goal. And honestly, when I came out with Release Therapy, I honestly set out to win a Grammy. And when I won it, it touched my heart because I said, this is what I particularly wanted to do with this album. And I did that and I accomplished it. So this album right here is set out to do exactly what you just said, get the credit I deserve as an MC. Because I mean, financially, I'm pretty much where I need to be. So, you know, a lot of people, motivation is money and they'll take a check to do this, check to do that. I don't necessarily need the money. So it's like, this goes to prove that I love what I do and I'm living out my dream. It's people in America, people all over the world, whether they love music or not, they just wish that they could be doing what they love to do. People hate their jobs. And I'm saying, I love my job. You know what I mean? So like I say, I'm living out my dream right now. So this album is set out to prove that I got lyrics and, you know, that's why I put a lot of other people on there so that I'll make sure I Sunday motherfucking asses on there. That's why I put other people on the record. So it's just like it's a competition. Competition is great. You know what I mean? You got people on the same record label all out here just competing against one another. I make it a point. I love to compete. That puts you up on your game. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm extremely versatile. So, you know, even you asked me one time, and people always ask me, what do I feel like once I leave this game? What should people remember me as? People should remember me as one of them artists that I feel like I can do everything. If you want me to make a hit single and get a lot of radio plays, I can do that. You want me to get on a song with other rappers and make sure I go at them and make sure I'm competitive, I'm going to do that. You want me to spit fast as hell, I can spit fast as hell. You want me to spit slow, I can spit slow. Subject matter, not talking about shit. Whatever you want me to do, I feel like I can do it. So with that being said, that's really what put people on records, where it's to feed off of their energy, learn from them, make sure we take the game to new heights. Nah, definitely, it's more movies. If people don't know, it's 2 movies that come out in October. One is called Max Payne, which is based off the video game that came out about a decade ago. So, you know, that's Max Payne is Mark Wahlberg, Bo Bridges, Mila Kunis is in that. And then there's another movie called Rock and Roller that Guy Ritchie wrote and directed. And that comes out in October too. As far as music is concerned, I'm really thinking about just anything that hasn't really been done. I really want to do, which I'm kind of working on secretly, but everybody here will know, an album with Shauna called Battle of the Sexes, because I know that Foxy Brown and Jay-Z attempted to do something. I know that there have been numerous people that try and show that female and male perspective on a whole entire album, so I'm kind of working towards that, just to give you a sneak peek. And so those are the things that are in the immediate future. No. That rumor. I was sitting down talking to somebody. I was at the Toronto Film Festival, and they asked me what I liked better. And they said, you know, do you like acting or rapping better? I said, music is in my blood. It's something that I'll continue doing for the rest of my life. But I don't see myself being in front of the camera or just necessarily making albums as Ludacris for the rest of my life. So I sat there and said I could see myself maybe You know what I'm saying? Like when I'm about 40 years old, I don't necessarily think I'm gonna be continuously making rap records. How that shit turned into me retiring tomorrow, that just goes to show that print media sometimes will completely twist your words. I've been through that plenty of times. The answer to your question is no, I don't feel like retiring anytime soon. I love doing movies, love doing music, but music is still like it pumps through my veins. I still got a lot of stuff to get off my chest and a lot of stuff to say. And this Theater of the Mind album, I feel like that's gonna be a franchise. Like I'm gonna come with Theater of the Mind 2, Theater of the Mind 3. I feel like I can go a lot of different places with that and just relate certain things to movies metaphorically and all of that. So there you have it.
Okay, well.
No, I'm not retiring.
Whitney.
Greatest disappointment? You can't ask me a question like that because I feel like any disappointment I've had was supposed to happen. So it just made me a stronger person, honestly speaking. I can't really think of a major disappointment because like I say, anything that happens to me that I feel like is bad, I honestly feel like it's actually good to help me out. So that's the answer to your question, to be real with you. Here's a disappointment. I know a lot of people hear that my motherfucking pool house just burned the fuck down today. That was a major disappointment, but I can honestly sit back and laugh about this shit right now because it wasn't my actual house and nobody got hurt. So at the end of the day, materialistic things can always be replaced, but you can't replace people around this motherfucker. But if you would have seen the expensive tile that was inside that motherfucker, that shit upset the hell out of me, like for real. It's gonna take a minute to rebuild that motherfucker too. The foundation that I have, I started about 8 years ago. It's called the Ludacris Foundation. A lot of people know that, you know, how I got put on. I've been rapping since I was 9, but when I was in Atlanta, Georgia, I went to a radio station because I tried so many different ways of trying to get put on in the industry, but went to this radio station consciously to get a deal because I knew I'd be able to meet so many different artists and producers and give them slide on my demo and so many things. So when I worked at this station, they required us to do a certain amount of community service every week. That just was a part of our job. And so honestly, it started off as something that I was required to do, and then once I started doing it, I really developed a passion for it just because I saw how I affected certain children. So once I left that radio station and, got a record deal and Ludacris started selling all these records, the more power and the more popularity I had, I kind of continued that, that foundation giving back, and that's something that I continue to do. So it's all about helping kids help themselves and underprivileged youth, and we do things around the clock to make sure we give back. And I think a lot of people's motivation sometimes is financial. And I've always been one of those people that sat there and say, especially now since I'm financially where I want to be, when I go into the studio, I'm just trying to constantly think of something that's not necessarily being done, which is why I came up with Theater of the Mind. And it's not so important to me that I get a record that spins on the radio as much as everybody else. It's just important to me that the impact that I have of people understanding that, one of the things that people gripe about the most is I hear the same records and everybody doing the same shit and the same stuff over and over again. What matters to me is that I give people something that they need or that they want, and to continue to outdo myself and not necessarily do the same shit that I've been doing on previous albums. So that's the answer to your question. For sure.
You want to take any more?
I'm good, man.
You good right now?
That was enough.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you back. Give a round of applause for Ludacris. Theater of the Mind. Indoors.
So real quick, please make some noise for AJ Dixon for making that dance.
AJ, shut up, man.
AJ Dixon.
November 11th, right?
No, it's at the end of November. We debating about an album release date right now, but we get there. Yeah, we'll know within the next week.
All right. What's up for Ludacris?